everybody, Jim from Jim's Coleus, just checking in. It's been a little while, been busy, crazy. This is, here in New Jersey, this is, I guess this is the pinnacle. I don't know, is that the right word? Pinnacle, the top, the optimal time of year for my Coleus. And for your Coleus, if you live in New Jersey, or if you have a weather system similar to ours. If you're in Florida, that's a different story altogether, at the heat and so forth. But it's been, so far this summer, started off very slow. The spring was very cool, started very late, and we're just starting to get that really hot weather. And when I say just, I'm talking about the past few weeks. Beautiful day. Over this past weekend, lots and lots of rain. And the past week or so, we've gotten a lot of heat, humidity, but the rain is amazing. It really has made a big difference. So I just want to share with you this, the fuse, forget about the fuse being lit. The dynamite has exploded. So and I did feed these, I did feed my Coleus some fish emulsion, and it's really taken off. So but when things start getting really hot, considering a heat wave, which really right today it's not, it's in the 80s, but it's not that stifling 90s that's almost all over the world, it seems like Italy. Here in the States, out west, we're getting like triple-digit heat. Luckily, we haven't gotten that. But when things get that hot, I don't fertilize. And I had mentioned that in my earlier videos, that Coleus really, some people just say that, you know, Coleus don't need to be fertilized, but I like to fertilize them. I think it does it makes a difference. So, but anyway, let's take a look at these beautiful Coleus. Tomorrow's my fourth farmer's market, and I'm going to bring a few of these showcase, I call my showcase Coleus, my larger planters. They're really starting to take off, or they're taking off. They're already in flight. So, all right, enough talk. Let's get to the beautiful Coleus. Okay, so as you can see here, it's I'm gonna have to, we're gonna have to widen this out a little bit here. I'll widen this out now, and we'll get in a little tighter so we can get a close-up on some of this beautiful color. So you can see some of these are my personal planters. Most of them will be going to the farmer's market. I've sold a lot more of the hanging baskets, thanks to suggestions by my followers. Over the years, I've always hanged the baskets on my awning, and people didn't really notice the beauty. And it's you know, you think that it's something so simple to think about, like, hey, you know what? Put them on the ground so people can look down and see how beautiful they are, and it makes a big difference. So thanks. It's what I love about this. I learned so much from you people. When I say you people, I mean that respectfully. Getting a little bit of sun here. I do a little dance here. It's shady here, but it's going to start to get really sunny later. And these already got their sun for today. My yard is kind of weird. I get sun in the morning in certain spots, and then it's shady, and then when the sun sets, the same spot may get a lot of sun. So I move these around, but I'm going to be getting ready for my farmer's market. So later on today, this portion of my driveway is shady from now until sunset. So I'm going to move everything, pretty much everything, over here, sort of like a staging area. I already have these two beautiful Coleus over for tomorrow, so I can load up and get ready for the farmer's market. But look at this beautiful arrangement. Jitters. And you know, it's really up to you. You can just make a beautiful pot early on, and just be patient, and look, this is it. If you're following along, you probably remember this, but look at this beautiful Coleus. It really needs to be trimmed a little more, but at this point, it's healthy, no insects, jitters, just flow all over the place. You don't even see the pot, and that's my goal every year, and it never disappoints. Again, hanging baskets. Look at this giant Empire Kong jitters hanging basket. You can't even see the handle. And I'm not trimming this anymore. What I'll do is I'll suggest to people who do buy it to start trimming it a little bit because they just want to grow. Coleus in the wild just keep growing and growing. They just want to grow 4 or 5 feet tall. So you know, you gotta manage them. So same with this beautiful Coleus arrangement. Is that beautiful or what? Nice contrast, got that color and the dark. And again, we got a lot of growth on the bottom, so yeah, you got to trim, but I'm not at this point. These are for people for when they buy them, and then I'll suggest Saturn rings, and of course the Defiance. I'm going to bring this Saturn rings to the farmers market tomorrow, and one of these Defiance. The other will be mine. And of course I have my greenhouse loaded with the smaller pots and so forth, so we'll bring those. But at this point, I through suggestion from Brooklyn, my mentor, I call her my mentor because she's a horticulturalist, and she's probably forgotten more than I know about plants and Coleus. That's her expertise. So she gives me a lot of good, useful tips. And of course, there's a lot of people, followers over the years. Can't mention. Can't get started on mentioning them because I'm going to forget a few, and but I learned so much from her since she's helped me along with my clementine tree, my clemmy. But she suggested some fish emulsion, and others have mentioned that over the years, but she really kind of sparked the real interest in it, so I did give that a try, and it's not disappointing. So these are really beautiful. Again, no, I don't get any insect problems back here. If you do get some insect problems, there's home remedies you can make. I don't make them up. You can look them up online, but I usually use the insect spray soap, which is really a natural seaweed extract. So it's sort of a natural insecticide. It's not a harsh chemical really. But I don't use it because I have no insect problems back here. So at this point, once the really warm weather, if you're in a climate where you're getting a heat wave or whatever, I would slow down and discontinue the fertilizer. If things are growing like this, really crazy, discontinue, slow down on your fertilizer for a few weeks until the heat wave passes, because you don't want, what's going to happen is the Coleus, and I had mentioned this in previous videos, is really for people who are just joining us. If you fertilize, these are aggressive growers at this point when you have this is the optimal time of year, as I mentioned in my opening, and you fertilize, you're really kick-starting what they're already doing aggressively. So the Coleus is going to grow so fast, the stems, the height, the foliage, that the root system is not going to be able to keep up. It's not going to grow along with the size of the plant. So your Coleus they're not going to have the root system to sustain the plant and also to anchor the plant and so forth. A hanging basket like this, where you may not have a large soil root ball, as I will call it, for lack of a better term. So you have this big plant and a smaller area of soil, and you may not have enough roots to sustain this big monster plant. So that's why I kind of slow down on the fertilizer, and we'll see how things go in this summer. And that goes for this here also. Another thing is, you could see, I had mentioned in previous videos that this is going to be an aggressive seed plant. So it's really going to town already, and by fertilizing it, it's gonna make it more difficult for me to keep up with it, because the growth is it's off the hook now. I mean, I'm already trimming like mad. I can't keep up. So if I fertilize it, it's gonna be even more. It's just gonna keep growing even more. So that's another reason why I don't actively fertilize during the high heat area. But what a beautiful plant there. So I'm going to trim some of these seed stalks here. I have other plants around my property for my seed harvesting, for my eBay listing. Again, that's going to be Jim's Coleus on eBay. Just mark it down in your, put a little side note in your mind. Jim's Coleus on eBay. I start selling seeds in October, and all through the fall and winter I'll have seeds, so you can get all your seeds ready to go. You can watch my videos and get ready for this growing season of 2024. There's another beautiful hanging basket, and you can see this is a little, it's definitely wilting. This is out really out in the sun, needs some water. We'll give that a shot. But you know, this is sitting in full sun, but it's not dead. It's just wilted. It needs, you know, this one's doing a little better. You know, some, as I had mentioned, some Coleus do better in full sun than others. These are kind of tender. There may be something wrong with this. We're just going to trim this. I'm gonna have to get some scissors and trim that to see. But I got a lot of undergrowth coming in, so we're going to trim those, some of these larger, really droopy ones. And that's going to really fill in. I'm going to have to trim this top piece here because it's kind of really going. But again, at this point, I don't like to trim too much unless it really needs it, because these are for people and I want to make as much of a statement as possible. So, and look at these. These started seeding earlier, so I'm letting these seed. These are the only, these two. This is that colossal marble with the fuchsia. So I'm going to have these seeds on my eBay listing. So I'm letting these go to seed. These are the only Coleus in this area being at this point that are seeded. So they're going to be, they should be pure. So when you get these seeds, your Coleus should come out like this. So we'll have these. These will be like a fuchsia colossal marble, and we'll have plenty of seeds from these type of plants, these Coleus. All right, so you know, the first two Coleus sales at the farmers market were fairly slow, but you know, I have sold quite a few. I'm gonna need to get in here today, just give a little bit of water. Again, I'm pretty conservative with my water. You can see these look a little dry, but you know what, I'm digging down and it's still pretty moist down there, so I'm not going to overwater. Some of these tend to dry out a little faster than others, but everything's pretty moist. We had a lot of rain moisture over the weekend, and fan, of course, it dries things out a little bit, but it's necessary to keep the air moving. So tomorrow's, there'll be my fourth farmers market. As you can hear Bobo yapping in the background. And we should do really well. Okay, so you know, I was a little concerned because of the its seemingly late start to the whole season, that I was trying to remember, hey, like my Rose of Sharon is not blooming yet. And then all of a sudden, boom, it started getting these little, the buds, and now it just seemed like overnight I'm getting all of this foliage. So this, I mean, this is a summer plant, but it seemed like it took forever for the flowers to come out. But things are looking really good. And by back here, you can see my butterfly trees. Got these monster butterfly trees, which are great pollinators, so I get lots of pollination here in the backyard. And here's that other planter with the flamingos and jitters, and of course we'll have plenty of jitters seeds for sale in the fall, so don't worry about that. Okay, so I hope everyone's summer's going real well, and your Coleus are doing well. I'm getting a lot of interaction, a lot of photos and some videos and so forth of Coleus between my Facebook, Instagram, and my YouTube channel, of people who've either bought seeds from me or purchased their own Coleus, and a lot of beautiful photos and great videos. And it's really neat to see people who have bought seeds from me growing their own Coleus. It's really it's humbling, and a lot of really decent, a lot of nice people. So thank you very much for following along. Jim's Holiest of Coleus. Again, any questions you have, just reach out to me here on YouTube or my Instagram channel. And have a great summer. We'll see you in another week or two. We're always trying to stay in touch with everybody out there. So take care, everyone. Thanks for watching Jim's Holiest of Coleus.